Welcome back, sporting fans, to another spectacular episode of the Paint the Wall podcast. I, of course, am your host, Steve, and I am joined this week by a man who enjoys the taste of leather, but you all know him as Logan.
Yeah, I mean, what is beef jerky except for leather, but just with a few less steps?
Yeah, I guess that's true. It's still, well, technically leather would be the skin and beef jerky is muscle. So I guess it is a different part of the cow.
Same thing.
Taste-wise, it's probably pretty similar.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's all in the seasoning anyway. Everybody knows that.
Facts. Anything can taste good with a nice rub.
That's true. That's true. All right. Well, I feel like every week you and I get on here and we start with our little witty banter about whatever random thing that I decide to throw at you. And then I go, all right, let's get this over with. And frankly, I would love for that to change.
It is becoming a trend that I'm not particularly fond of. Yeah.
Like I just really want to record an episode, you know? But lately we even won this week, and I'm still like, yeah, I barely even want to talk about the win. Of course, we're going to, but it's just like, even in a win, it's still like, ugh. But
what?
I said, like, even with a win, it's still like, ugh.
Oh, Open Cup. Forgot about Open Cup completely.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that hardly counts, though. It was such a bad win.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even we're gonna talk about a win finally, but it's still like, you know, it's kind of a pathetic win. Of course, this week we were talking about our 2-1 win over Omaha and our 2-1 loss to Houston at home. Let's dive into Omaha first.
Sure.
Because that's the order that it happened. So we had a 120-minute win that took 120 minutes for us to win.
Yeah.
With an Alan Polito goal that, frankly, both of our goals were bad goalkeeping. They weren't even really good shots. They weren't even really good chances. They weren't good offense.
No.
It was bad goalkeeping on both accounts.
Yep.
And a goalkeeper getting beat by at least one person who was significantly better, and Janice, who just got a good shot.
Right.
So, but I guess a win's a win, you know?
A win's a win. That's all that matters, except for like everything else.
But... Yeah. Omaha's a tough team. You know, I don't want to take away too much credit from them. They are a lower league than us, so there is that. But we beat them last July.
Right.
Does that sound right? Was it July in the Open Cup that we beat them?
Sure. That sounds rightish.
They haven't lost a single game since then.
I think they haven't lost a single regular season game because they didn't win the championship last year. So I think they lost a playoff game.
Yeah, that could be.
Because I'm pretty sure I remember them talking about how they came second in the whatever competition they're in. I can't remember.
USL League One is where they are.
Right.
I'm trying to just look through most of their games and see if I can find where they lost, because that is a good point. They would have won a championship, which, to be fair, maybe they did, and I just don't know that.
Well, no, the commentators were saying they didn't win it last year. That's my point.
Ah, okay.
Anyway, not crazy important. Still a very good team.
No. Yeah. So they are a good team. Credit where it's due.
Right.
They basically parked a bus in front of the goal, and they were like, try and score on us. And we managed to do it twice.
Right.
I don't know. What are your thoughts on this game?
It's the Open Cup. Anything can happen. These teams can make runs that are unbelievable. You look at who did we lose to last year? Sacramento making it to the final. You know, these teams can go on great runs that have no business being there.
That's true.
That being said, we are still talking about even half a backup lineup we should still easily be able to dispatch a USL League One team that is 2 leagues below us.
Mm-hmm.
It really shouldn't be this hard. We shouldn't have had to go 120 minutes. We shouldn't have had to score a last-second goal to win it.
Agreed.
And even looking ugly doing it, like none of our goals, like you said, were good goals. It was more just on goalkeeping. So for me, it wasn't a good win. It was, I don't want to say lucky, but it was lucky. We easily could have been going home after that match and been done with the cup,
Mm-hmm.
which, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's
That's true.
it's just not a good win. It's not something that I look at with any kind of, well, at least we got a win. For me, there is nothing good about this. We just looked awful the entire time. So
Yeah, pretty much. We, like you said, I get even saying like, "Oh, at least we got a win." Okay, it took us 120 minutes to do it.
right.
And you're right. Yeah, we didn't have the same starting lineup in, but honestly, most of our starters played uh, by the end of the game.
Hmm.
Not really all together, but they did. They did eventually play,
Right.
and it just, I don't know. Our defense looked bad. Of course, we had Volader and Castellanos playing, and anybody who's
Hmm.
listened to us for any amount of time knows how I feel about Castellanos.
Right.
Back at home in League One, though, at least. Like, I was excited to see Felipe play, of course.
Hmm.
He looked okay, I guess,
I guess.
but everybody else just looked slow. They looked like they expected to win, and then the more we weren't scoring, they kind of
Hmm.
started getting irritated, and then they were playing irritated, but still like they expected to win. So it's like,
Right.
I don't know. Honestly, to me, it kind of plays into what Peter said at the end of the Houston game
Hmm.
about that there are people that are not leaving it all on the field.
Hmm.
And I think the last 2 games, that was incredibly obvious, that there's just, we've got, I don't know who exactly he's talking about, but there's definitely people who are just
Hmm.
not leaving it all on the field. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We got lucky in this one. We got a win.
Hmm.
We got a last second goal. Didn't have to go to PKs, which is good because Pulse Camp in PKs terrifies me. Um,
Yeah.
but transition then to our Houston game.
Hmm.
It did not go as well, probably because Houston, and this may be a shocker for some of you, maybe even Logan, I don't know. Houston, not a USL League One team.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
are, in fact, an MLS team
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
with Hector Herrera,
Yeah.
who made his comeback.
Hmm. Sure did.
He's been dealing with some injury. So,
Sure did.
and boy, did he.
Boy, did he.
What are your thoughts on this game? I'm sure they're going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't have much to say that I haven't already said that I'm sick of saying at this point. Um, our defense wasn't great. There was no offensive creativity whatsoever. Our one goal we had, sure, it was great. I mean, it was good to see Shallowy get on the score sheet. But we let 2 goals go, one of which it was a silly goal to let up. There was a lot of stuff that led up to it that shouldn't have happened. And then Hector Herrera just put a world class shot, and there was no stopping it at that point. And then, the second one was just nobody marked him. I mean, nobody marked the man, and
Well,
I mean,
nobody
it
marked him. Nobody tried to step up on the guy who passed it
right.
to try to cut that off.
Hmm.
Nobody really did anything on that
Right.
play except for point at other people and tell them to do things.
Hmm.
Jake Davis was trying to hustle back, I guess, to his credit, but he was
Yeah.
so far out of position that it didn't matter.
Exactly.
Um, I don't know.
Hmm.
I personally think that should have stopped well before the pass. I think Leibold should have taken that guy down. I don't know who it was who made the pass, but Leibold
Yeah.
should have taken him out as soon as he beat him and taken the yellow card there. And
Hmm.
then we're at least looking at a free kick, which they probably would have scored. But
Yeah. No, there was a lot of things that went wrong with that goal. I don't know. I just don't have a lot to say about this game because it was just not good all around. No offensive creativity. Defense looked scary. Midfield couldn't control the midfield. Um, and everything was just scary to watch from beginning to end. Um, I even had I wasn't watching, I didn't get to watch it live, but I went back and watched the game after. And the whole, like, I knew what happened, and the whole time I was still terrified. I mean, it felt like every moment there could have been a goal from Houston. Um, and I don't know. It was just bad.
Yeah. We got to see more Janice. I did not expect that.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to see him again, especially in a situation where it was like such a close game and like, yo, we need a goal. Although it did kind of turn into just an all-out, put all our offensive players on the
Yeah.
field and see what can happen. Which I guess credit to PV, not something I would have expected him to do.
No.
Even in that situation where, like, hey, we've got a little bit of time.
Right.
You know, I still never expect him to just go full out like, okay, all offensive subs go
Right.
score a goal. So it didn't work, but I mean, at the same
Right.
time, it's hard to score a goal in 5 minutes. But
Right.
we
He
had a
tried.
couple chances, I guess. But
We did.
yeah, he tried, and that's my point. Like,
Yeah.
that's what we've been saying. Like, you got to do something different. He did. All right, cool. Could it have happened a little earlier? Maybe.
Yeah.
That one's kind of tough. They didn't get their second goal till the 78th minute. So it was a tie game up until the 78th minute. So it's like, okay, we're really trying to, we have to keep some of our good players on the field so they don't score.
Right.
Then they score, and it's like, okay, well, let's go for a goal here. Who did he sub in the 82nd minute? Let me scroll down here. That was there it is. Vargas came in for Johnny. That was pretty much right after the goal, so that makes sense. That sub makes sense. And then the other two were right at the 90th minute. So maybe you make that a little bit earlier.
Right.
There is something I think to be said about letting what name did I literally just say? Vargas. Letting Vargas play with Agata a little bit versus Afrifa up front. So maybe that kind of makes sense. I don't know. All kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just a disappointing loss, I guess.
I agree.
And now we're sitting 11 points. Really only, I think I saw through 12 games last year, we're now only like 2 points ahead of where we were last year.
Correct.
I think.
Yes.
Of course, this is after the point of where we actually turned our season around last year. So
right.
That's why we actually picked up a bunch of points right there at the beginning of May. But so what are your thoughts? What do we need? What do you think is our biggest thing that we need to fix right now? I know, I'm a loaded question right off the bat.
It is a loaded question. Because I mean, I hate to say everything because it's not everything, but it just feels like our midfield is lacking any kind of real threat. We kind of just let teams control the midfield. Our defensive mids don't really seem to be as locked down as they used to. Our offensive mids don't seem to be as lethal as they do. Eric Tommy is the only exception to that. And our front three just don't look lethal. Our defense at times has been okay. But the problem is that we have, who I think is the clear number one left back is out for the entire season. We can't keep a center back pairing consistently, which that is pretty crucial if you're going to have success with your center backs, is they need to be playing together pretty much every week. Those are two of the positions that pretty much have to be there all the time. And we can never find a way to get all of the weapons clicking all at once. We have games where, Allen looks good and then Agata looks good. Johnny looks kind of dangerous, but they can't ever get it all together on the field at the same time. And for me, I think that's the big thing is, yeah, we can use some boosting in talent, but we just have to figure out how to use those weapons appropriately. And honestly, I do think it comes down to just the way we're playing the game. The mentality issue is just wrong, and I think it stems from the top. I think that there's just been an issue with mentality for a while in this club. And I think something's got to change in the way that we're approaching games. Winning, losing, drawing, it just never feels like we have enough urgency ever. And we don't
Mhm.
have clinical finishing in the final third. Like we have so consistently struggled with that for so many years. And you and I have talked about this before, so we don't need to go into it again unless you want to.
Mhm.
But for me, I think mentality is the biggest issue with this club. And I mean, Peter made those comments. Unfortunately, I think Peter is part of the problem, but that's a whole different conversation. But we just never seem to have the right mentality in the game. We always seem to be making such silly mental mistakes.
Yep.
So, I say all that to say, a midfielder would be great.
Yeah. Um, and I
I
will say one thing that I think is kind of hurting us now, kind of the opposite of last year, where we were, I kept saying last year, like, we're really injured. We just need to get healthy. If we
Mhm,
can get healthy, this team's going to look a lot better. And turns out that's basically what happened last year. We got healthy and things started to turn around for us. So
mhm.
unfortunately, we started healthy this year.
Right.
Now we're getting injured. So it's like now we have all these problems coming up and we keep having key
Mhm.
crucial players come up with injuries.
Right.
Tommy was out of Houston for personal reasons. I never saw what that was or if anybody even posted. I don't know if you saw
Um,
anything, but
I did update from that. It's actually a good reason. His wife had their baby.
oh, okay. Well,
So, Mazel tov. Yeah,
yeah,
I think she was literally the baby was being born when the game kicked off.
okay.
Time of birth. Time of birth. I've never said that. Time of birth was like 3 minutes after kick or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, Peter said that at the media availability today. So
Okay. Well, I guess that's a good reason. But at the
yeah,
same time, if we're being honest, what is Eric gonna do? His wife's having the baby. He's not doing anything.
sure.
I'm
You're
I'm
right.
totally kidding. Please don't. Please. You know what? Actually, yes. At me on Twitter because then we'll get traction on Twitter. So yeah, go ahead. I
Yes.
don't care.
At him, please, not me.
Yeah, at me.
I do not
Um,
support his decisions. Those opinions are his own. I do
yeah.
not agree with him.
Um,
Um,
no, but my point is like we have Rocero's injured. We keep
yeah.
having Rado Ya will come up with an injury here and there. Remy's still injured. Shallowy didn't practice today. He's
Hmm.
been apparently dealing with a hip injury since the beginning of the season.
Hmm.
That I'm guessing is what flared up a little bit today. But
Hmm. Probably.
we have all that on top of whoever Peter's talking about with they're not leaving it on the field.
Right.
Um, I can tell you right now, I don't think he's talking about Daniel Shallowy. I don't know if you saw Daniel Shallowy's reaction to that statement in the locker room after the game on for Houston, but
I did.
frankly, I love that reaction of whoever it is, get rid of them. And if it's
Yeah.
me, get rid of me. Like I love that. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's the mentality. That's the mentality change that you're talking about. We need to
I
figure
agree.
out
Uh-huh.
whoever it is that is not giving it their
Hmm.
all and get rid of them. I don't care who
Hmm.
it is, frankly. And I
Yeah.
say that because I know it's not Tim Melia. I know it's not Eric Tommy, and I know
Right.
it's not Daniel Shallowy.
Right.
Anybody else? Bye. Get
Hmm.
get out of here.
Right.
We've seen the other one. I'm pretty sure it's not Memo Rodriguez because that kid has looked on fire the last two games.
Hmm. He has looked
Despite
really good.
not he didn't score or anything, but he
Hmm.
just he has looked great the last few games. So
Yeah. I agree.
we need to be playing him more. That's for sure.
Hmm. Yeah, and I don't know who it is. And again, I think it's a big mentality issue with the I think this is a whole club culture mentality issue. I think this is bigger than just some individual players. I just don't think we have the right mentality from top to bottom. I just think there's too many issues with this club. And there has been for too long. I think we're at the point where we're going to continue seeing these kinds of issues. So I agree. We need to get rid of the people who are causing these mentality issues. I just don't Peter. I don't think Peter thinks it is who it is, being himself.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion. I mean, obviously, it's not going to matter. Peter's invincible, and
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is. And so, but I agree. I mean, I think it's coming down to mentality issues. I mean, I've felt that way for a while, and we just never seem to have the right mentality at the right time. We don't seem clinical. We don't seem to have the right. We're never doing the right thing at the right time. I think that's kind of just the summary what it boils down to. We have players,
Mm-hmm.
we have assignments, substitutions. We're just never doing the right thing at the right time. I think that's what it
Yeah.
boils down to.
True.
So
I don't know. I know Peter said that the locker room was going to be a bad place after that Houston game. So
I bet.
hopefully this entire week was them just getting absolutely reamed and ran into the ground, which of
Yeah.
course at their level, you can't really run them into the ground, But hey,
Right.
everybody gets tired eventually, I'm sure.
Yeah. Eventually.
I don't know. Maybe they'll turn it around. They did last year, so at this point, we really just kind of have to hope,
I hope so. I hope so, but I just don't know. I'm tired of being optimistic about it. It's hard to at this point.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
All right, well, let's move on from those two games. Let's hit up what I think will be definitely our easiest part of this, and tell me who your MVP is from this
uh
week.
Daniel Shallowy, you
That's
scored?
exactly who I picked. Yeah.
Yeah.
You scored, and Shallowy and Memo were the only two players that looked like they were
Mhm.
consistently trying very hard in
That's
both
fair.
games.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
plus his comments at the after the Houston game,
Mhm.
those resounded with me quite a bit. I really
Mhm.
like that mentality of whoever it is, get rid of them. Like
Mhm.
if this is we're professionals. If you can't get up for a game at this level, go away. We don't need
Right.
you.
Right.
So I hope that the front office listens to that and understands that, like, hey, there are players on this team that do have that right mentality.
Mhm.
You guys need to do something about this and find the
Mhm.
players who don't have the right mentality and move them.
Right.
Don't play them. Put them on SKC2.
Mhm.
Release them. I don't care, and I don't care who it is.
Mhm.
As long as it's not Tim Melia. Yeah,
Yeah.
so Shallowy's mine too. Shout out to Memo. I think he's played great.
Sure.
Daniel scored though, so
Right. Right.
All right, MVP.
Everybody else.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I typed that and then I decided to change it just a little bit.
Sure.
I
Sure.
changed
Sure.
it to whoever Peter is talking about when he says that they don't have the right mentality.
Yeah.
We will never know who that is unless they
Right.
start releasing people. Then we'll figure it out. But
Right. Yeah.
whoever he's talking about, you're the
Uh,
MVP. And I know it's been confirmed multiple times over. This podcast is played in the locker room. So
that is true.
I know you all will hear it. So whoever it
Yep.
is,
Mhm.
knock it off. Peter,
Right.
I will play for no money. No money at all. I will do it.
Mhm. Mhm.
So will Logan, I'm sure.
Sure.
No money at all. We got the right mentality. We'll both die on the field, I promise.
It may be very quickly, but
Yes.
we'll leave it on the pitch for sure.
Yes, we will leave. We will literally die on the field.
Yeah. Pretty much.
All right. Let's go talk about the good soccer team in Kansas City.
Let's do it.
Kansas City Current, I'm pretty sure had 2 games. I can't, for some reason, get ESPN to tell me what the date of the Seattle game was. So we're going to talk about both. They drew with Seattle, so they had back-to-back draws, Houston and Seattle. And then we did get a win on Mother's Day against the North Carolina Courage. Cool name for a team, by the way.
Yeah. That's really neat name.
Although I think their mascot is a cougar, which is kind of confused, because your name is the Courage, but your mascot is a cougar, which is almost the same word.
I think. Hang on. Hang on. I'm getting
What
there.
did Logan find? Something juicy?
Never mind. Nope.
Oh, okay. Well,
I
who
was
cares then?
I was thinking it was something like a courage was like a clan, like a group, a pack of
Of cougar.
I,
Oh,
I don't
maybe
know.
it is.
I thought it was.
Who knows?
It's not. But
Oh, all right.
yeah, Seattle we played on Wednesday. The Courage we played on Sunday.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so still undefeated.
Yep.
That's important. Let me bring up the table. I'm pretty sure we're still at the top of the table. We kind of been flip-flopping with Orlando. We are currently we're tied. 21 points each.
Yeah.
3 points clear of third place or second place, however you want to look at it.
We do sit above Orlando on goal differential.
Yes. Beautiful. Love it. At least one team can still figure out how to win games and score goals. Well, okay, we scored 1 goal in 2 games, so maybe we're also not scoring as many goals right now, but our defense is playing well. Timo Chawinga, let me tell you, she hasn't scored in the last 2 games, but I've asked it before. I'll ask it again. Can she play for Sporting? Can you do that?
Sure.
Play for both teams? Is that a thing? I have no idea. It's the same city. Why not? If Patrick asks the right people, will they okay it?
You gotta think so.
Dabinia gets the goal against North Carolina. Really nice to have her back. Our lineup was pretty much full strength, what we're going to be going with the exception of, I believe I saw Bia was out. Trying to confirm. Yes, no Bia in that lineup. I believe she's dealing with just a little bit of an injury. Nothing major, though. She'll be back. Don't worry. But she was player of the month last month. So, but if we get her back, then we're at full strength. Nobody's going to beat us. Ring incoming for Kansas City. Let's go. All right. Thanks for joining us in Current Corner. Logan, take us around the league. Let us know. Tell us all about how Messi didn't do anything this week.
Nothing at all. DC United traveling on the road to Atlanta on Saturday. I'm ignoring the Open Cup games because that's just too many games to go over.
Yeah, we don't need to go through all those.
DC United getting the win on the road 3-2 there. New York Red Bulls, New England Revolution. New York getting the win 4-2 over New England, continuing New England's putrid start to the season.
They are bad.
Philadelphia and Orlando. Orlando getting the win on the road, 3-2 there. Cincinnati and Columbus playing in the Hell is Real Derby, which atmosphere in that game was incredible. But Cincinnati going on the road, beating Columbus 2-1. Dallas and Austin playing another Texas Derby. Dallas getting the win. Texas getting the win. Dallas getting the win 2-1 there. St. Louis and Chicago. St. Louis getting the win at home 3-1. And then closing out Saturday, we had LAFC hosting Vancouver. LAFC getting the win 3-0. And then on Sunday, we had the one of the fiercest rivalries in the MLS with Portland hosting Seattle. Seattle going on the road and getting an impressive 2-1 win there.
Very nice. Can you imagine a rivalry week where we would get to play one of our rivals? Are Houston a rival of ours? I mean, I guess technically, but we played St. Louis like 2 weeks ago. Couldn't they have just flipped these games and we played St. Louis?
Right. It would have been. Yeah, it would have been nice.
It's better than when we play in the nicest rivalry in sports, where only one team recognizes it as an actual rivalry.
Right.
So, I guess that's nice, but a good week.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see? I think it was today they announced it. LAFC signed Olivier Giroud.
I did see this. Yes.
Good. Probably another DP spot because they get unlimited DP spots. I'm sure he'll have his work visa in like -3 days, and he'll somehow figure out a way to play against Vancouver last week because they're the LA team, and that's how it works for them. So
yeah, you nailed it all.
All right, good, bad, and ugly. Logan, hit me with your good.
My good. I didn't want to take us there, but I'm gonna have to. The Miami Montreal game.
Okay.
There was it was a very interesting game, and we're gonna come back to it again, maybe in just a little bit.
Okay. Weird,
but
foreshadowing maybe.
There was a moment in the game where Messi had to go off the field for an injury, and Miami gets a free kick. Messi tries to get back on the pitch. They didn't let him, so Rojas had to step up and take the free kick and delivered a beauty of a goal.
Boy, did he!
Such a good one. So I mean, goal of the week, clear. I mean, I say that there's some really good goals this weekend. But in my opinion, goal of the week, such a good one. So that's my good for the week.
Nice. That is a good one. I did notice Messi didn't touch any of the goals this week.
No.
So This is his first game all season without any goal contribution.
Correct.
And I repeat, I did not make that up. That is a real stat. This is his first game without a goal contribution.
That he played in. There's obviously games that he didn't play in.
Yes,
right.
Sorry, that he played in.
Right.
That he did not have a goal contribution,
right.
let alone multiple in one game. So
yeah.
Insane. As you're saying, as we're talking about it, I'm on that ESPN page. They're showing the highlights. They just showed that free kick again. Man, what a honestly, what a messy looking banger.
Exactly.
Wild. What a good one.
Good one.
That my good was originally going to be that Messi had no goal contributions. But I actually changed mine because I changed mine today.
Ooh.
Because I don't know if you know this, but Manchester United U18 team won the league.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it's just nice to see a Manchester United logo hold a trophy. It is not the main team, nor will it be for a while, but at least the U18s are getting it done.
I thought you were going to talk about Manchester United now holding the 4th largest waterfall in Europe.
Yeah, that's a good one too. That's a pretty good one too. But no, I want a little props to the U18 team. You know, those guys will eventually be the main team. So of course it won't matter because Erling Haaland is still a person that we have to play against. So
right.
You know,
City clinched it today, right?
Honestly, I don't know. I haven't looked that up yet.
I think City
probably. I know Arsenal has been right on their tails. Let's see. City has 88. Arsenal has 86.
I
with
know
one game left, I believe.
Is there one game left?
Because they play 38, right?
Yeah, you're right. Okay, I guess so.
Yeah, so they got one game left. So technically, how exciting. And Arsenal plays Everton. So I think we can all guess how that game's going to go.
Yeah, but City plays West Ham. It's not much better.
True. On the 19th. So is that Saturday morning?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know what I'm doing Saturday morning.
Sunday morning.
Sunday morning. Good, because I planned Saturday morning. I was going to have to move. Now I don't have to do that because I could just watch it on Sunday.
Everybody plays at 10 a.m.
Perfect. Well, right. I was like, well, 9 a.m. No, just kidding. 9 a.m. here.
Sorry, 10 a.m. CST.
Yes. All right, hit me with your bad.
My bad. I'm unfortunately going to have to take us back to Miami yet again. Listen, Montreal. It looked so good for about 32 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You guys were not only up 1-0, but then you guys went up 2-0 against Miami. And everybody was like, Miami's finally going to lose. And then Rojas stepped up and put in an incredible free kick. And then, your world just collapsed from there.
Yep.
So, Montreal, come on, guys. You got to do better. So,
that's a good one.
That's my bad.
That is that's a tough one, but that is what it is. My bad is that it took us 120 minutes to beat Union Omaha.
Yeah.
We talked about this already for like 15 minutes, so we don't need to rehash, but that's my bad.
Fair enough. I love
it. Hit me with your ugly.
My ugly. Vancouver, listen. You want to be taken seriously this year. You guys are doing pretty well. You're 4th in the standings right now. You cannot go to LAFC and get smoked 3-0 if you want to be competitive in the West. So, Vancouver, that's my ugly.
Love it. That is also my ugly.
Nice.
4th place, you can't go to LAFC and get beat 3-0. You just can't do it.
No.
Not consistently anyway. Now, if this ends up just being a one-off, then it is what it is. But can't do it consistently.
No, definitely not.
All right, back to sporting.
Yeah.
Yeah, next week on Saturday, we play Austin in Austin. Austin is 4-4-4. 16 points, 8th in the West. How do you think this one goes?
I think the only saving grace here is that we are the only team that does not play the midweek. All the other teams in the league are playing on Wednesday. So Austin will be a little less refreshed than us. They're also playing a Texas Derby match again. So I think they'll be a pretty tired from that because I think that I think those Texas games they definitely care about. So I think that's going to be our only saving grace in this match. That being said, we're still a really bad soccer team, and I think Austin's going to be better than us. I think we're going to lose 2-0. I don't think it's going to be good.
All right. I pretty much agree with everything you said, except for I'm going 2-1 Austin.
No.
I think we'll figure out a way to score. We've pretty consistently scored in most games, so
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm sure somebody will poke a shot in at some point, and
yeah,
we'll get a 2. So we're going to lose 2-1.
Okay,
that's what I'm going with, and I think it takes a couple more weeks for us to turn anything around if we even manage to this year.
Yeah.
Which I know I'm probably overly optimistic about it, but like our lineup is too good to be this bad consistently. Like on paper.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the summer transfer window. Maybe that'll help too. But
yeah, hopefully.
All right. Well, that's really all I got. Point update. We each got a point last week because we picked the win over Omaha. So you have 5, I have 7.
Woo.
That's where we're at there. So
sweet.
I guess the only perk of us playing like crap and you and I not wanting to talk about it is shorter episodes.
Hey,
so
you're welcome, everybody.
There you go. My dad in particular, he likes shorter episodes. So there you go. If the team sucks, Dad, shorter episodes. So. All right, everybody. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Of course, I'm not going to read through all the things because I don't want Logan to yell at me. And I got to play D&D with him for the rest of the night, and I don't want him to yell at me for it. So they're in the description below. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. Hit us up. Shoot us with that 5-star rating on Spotify or whatever star you want to give us, as long as it's 5. Anyway, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Logan, I appreciate you as always.
Appreciate you, Steve.
Everybody have a good week.
See you guys.